Okay. Welcome to the spring season update. We're out here at Irimple just looking at a few cordons and just trying to talk a little bit about fruitfulness and a few other things that probably should be front of mind about now. One of the first things we're going to look at is just replacement cordon production. This is a cordon that was shaved using the shaver. One thing that concerns a lot of growers about the shaver is the production of replacement canes, and the idea that the belief is that the action of the shaver is simply too harsh to allow new shoots to take off. This is at Sun Muscat, and as we can see here, there's really no shortage of shoots that are potentially bearers for next year. But we'll be keeping an eye on this, how this develops over the season, this vine and a few other vines, to just see whether we're getting the same replacement cane production as one would normally expect to get when the cordon is hand pruned. Okay, and just a few words about budburst on these thicker canes with plenty of carbohydrate reserves and plenty of access to those carbohydrate reserves. Most nodes have taken off, most buds have taken off, and most of those shoots that have come out have been fruitful, which is a pretty good thing. At this time of year too, it's quite tempting to start putting out fertiliser, particularly nitrogen fertiliser. It's probably not the best time at the moment. Now, in about 2 weeks, so we're at the start of October today, in about 2 weeks, those vines are going to start looking for nitrogen. They will have run down the nitrogen reserves reasonably well, and they'll start looking for it in the roots. That's the time when you can start cranking up the fertigation systems to start putting out some nitrogen fertiliser. It's also tempting to put most of the vine's needs on all in one hit. Yeah, it'll give you a positive effect, but you're probably not going to get quite as much bang for your buck as compared to putting on a small amount fairly frequently. As we get on towards the peak of the season, these vines in here, they're going to be vigorous, big crops on them. They're going to be looking for about 2 kilos of actual nitrogen per hectare per day. Now, so put that into perspective, that's 14 kilos per week. Now, of urea, that's about 28, it's a little bit less, about 26 kilos. That's about a bag per week per hectare. At the peak of the season when they're taking up that much, but then it tapers down very, very quickly. By Christmas, they're not looking for anything further at all. We also need to be mindful that most of your season's protection for disease is set up in these first 6 weeks of canopy development. If we can get through that reasonably unscathed, it's a lot easier further on in the season than it would be if we hadn't quite got it quite right. So remember the early sprays that every 2 weeks for your copper and your sulphur, and you're generally pretty good. We'll have another season update probably in early December, late November, early December. By then there'll be a fairly good indication of what the crop looks like, and then there'll be some indication too of what the likely weather is going to be into for the rest of December and into January, which is really going to be when some serious decisions may need to be considered, when you're starting to plan the harvest. Okay, that's all for now, so thank you, and I'll see you around the traps.